You want me to start over, do the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Apex Sprinkler, Safe Spot Storage, Michigan Memorial, Signature Services, CE Rains, and Southgate Dental. So let's thank them. And by the way, I'm the former mayor here, Tim Duran. What do you want? Okay. Okay, we're going to do the national anthem now before we sit down to eat. And that's going to be sung by Christine Steves. I believe you've done this before.
I have.
Okay. You want to get on here too?
Do I need to do that?
Yeah.
Thank you. Please join with me. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
It looks like we're about ready to eat. Well, you really got me.
I'm sorry. I don't want to get behind.
You really got me going out of order. Hello. Okay, now we have the invocation by the pastor, Jeff McNally Jr. Pastor McNally?
It's a pleasure to be here. Once again, I want to extend my thanks to Mayor Swift. It has been a pleasure to be here with you. I'm excited to see what the future holds for Riverview, and I'm excited about this food that we're about to partake of as well. And so if you would, bow your heads with me as we pray. Dear wise and loving Father, first let me say thank you on behalf of all that have gathered together. Thank you for your many abundant blessings. Thank you for life itself, for the measure of health we need to fulfill the calling and sustenance for our friendship. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and the honoring and bearing appropriate responsibilities. Thank you as well for the freedom that we enjoy today. Thank you for loving us, even so from your boundless and gracious nature. In the scriptures you have said that citizens ought to obey the governing authorities, since you have established those very authorities to promote peace, order, and justice. Therefore, I pray for our mayor, for our various levels of city officials, and in particular for the assembled group of business leaders, friends, and those dedicated to our city. I'm asking that you graciously grant them wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, a sense of welfare and true needs of our people, a keen thirst for justice and righteousness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement, personal peace in their lives and joy in their task. I pray for this time set before them today. Please give them an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in around our beloved city of Riverview. Heavenly Father, I also ask that you bless the food, that it would nourish our bodies and continue to give us strength as we join together. In Jesus' name, amen.
And now it looks like the food is ready, Steve. Does that look right? So is somebody doesn't? Okay, we'll go first and then everybody else can follow. Thank you.
Always count on him to do anything. Only one thing about Andy, he doesn't think there are mean people out there. And Andy reminds me of a story that I ran into Lloyd Carr once at an event. And I told him, he asked me, he goes, "How are things going?" And I said, "Things are going okay." And he said, "Well, Tim," he said, "only thing with you is you only have to satisfy 51% of the people." So, but Andy's been in office now. This is his third term, and he's got a lot of challenges in Riverview, and he meets them. He's very positive. Without further ado, I'll introduce Andy, and I'm sure he wants to introduce his family too at this time.
Thank you, Tim. I have a few pages of notes here, so I don't want to forget anything. But first, when we get started, I want to thank everybody for coming today. It's truly an honor to have you here to learn about what the City of Riverview is doing and what we plan on doing. And I would like to take a minute to introduce my wife, Darlene, and my youngest son, Paul, also joining us today. And I do want to respect your time. I know we're a little bit late here, so we'll get started. First, I want to express my gratitude to Steve Ailes and the Southgate Rotary for their incredible effort of organizing this event. The Rotary motto of service above self is exemplified by all the Rotarians I've encountered over the past 2.5 years. The way they conduct themselves both professionally and personally is exemplary. I am proud to be an honorary member of the Southgate Rotary, and I eagerly anticipate the day when Riverview can proudly join the ranks of the Rotary clubs in District 6400 earlier this summer. Also, a special thanks to Pastor Jeff McNally Jr. from Grace Point Church for his support and his leadership of faith in our community. He's been a good friend to me and the community. Thank you, Pastor. And also, Tim Duran, former Mayor Tim Duran, serving as MC. Tim has served our city council for 26 years, with the last 20 of them as our mayor. If you don't mind, please give Tim Duran a round of applause. So with that, I would ask Tim to please join me up here so we can start recognizing our businesses. I'll talk more later about the status of our city. For now, we are going to acknowledge 6 businesses that have chosen Riverview as their home away from home. When Rotary suggested that we recognize businesses, they also suggested that we create categories like most improved, best facade, best whatever. We chose a unique category, contributing to a better life for Riverview residents, students, seniors, and civic organizations, and for the whole downriver region. One of those businesses has contributed many ways to the betterment of our community, some by working with schools and assist them with their fundraising efforts. All these businesses and more have made a commitment to Riverview. We want to acknowledge and thank them for doing so. First, I'd like to acknowledge any previous award winners that are present, and I think there are a few here. We got Will and Sherry Evans from Go Big Multimedia, publishers of the Riverview Register, Trenton Times, Groseal Grand, Wyandotte Warrior, and the Southgate Star. Achieve Health, Atria Kinghaven, Parthenon Coney Island, Riverview Nutrition, A Serendipity Cakery, Theta Living, Avalon Day Spa, Poke Your Way, Premier Pet Supply, Savvy Sliders, Fat Daddy's Chicken and Waffles, the Michigan House, and the Bel Air Senior Living. Riverview has many, many small businesses, and most of them are mom and pop type of shops. And so I know it's tough for them to get out to be here, but I wanted to acknowledge them in the past. So first up, we have Bogart Law. So David Bogart and his crew want to come up? A little history about David. He grew up in Trenton. He and his wife Pam have been married for 41 years. Dave is a retired naval officer who flew planes for the Navy. When Dave left the Navy, he went to law school and became a lawyer. He opened his practice in Trenton, and a short while later moved to a better place, Riverview. Sorry. A few years ago, his sons David and Christopher became lawyers, and they needed a larger office. They found that new place in Riverview, and I want to thank you for choosing Riverview, and congratulations.
Get your picture with him first.
Sure.
Well, here, let's do that one.
All right, let's go down there.
Down here?
Yep.
You got the whole firm.
Yeah. You just stay the same.
Thank you. I just wanted to introduce who we are. I'm David Bogard, and I'm at Bogard Law. This is my wife, Pam. I've been married to her for 41 years and drug her all over the country and all over the world while I was flying. So she's been at the law office, and she runs the law office and takes care of scheduling and pretty much keeps me on track. That's our son, Christopher. Christopher is also an attorney at the law firm, and he does private practice, and he's also the magistrate at the 28th District Court in Southgate. His wife next to him is Candace. Candace is also at the law office. She is Christopher's assistant, and she keeps things straight with him. At the end is our daughter, Amy. Amy has been at the law office up until she and her husband began having babies about 10 years ago. But she started out with us as well. Our other son, David Michael, isn't here. He is an attorney at the firm, and he had a conflict today. When we needed a little bit bigger of a space, Chris is the one that found the office in Riverview, and quite frankly, we really like the location. We think it serves us well. We think Riverview is one of the gems and jewels of downriver, and we just like to thank the mayor and the Rotary and our good friends Will and Sherry Evans at Go Big Multimedia for supporting us. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
What do you specialize in? Can you say somebody's looking for an attorney? I asked him what he specializes in.
That's pretty cheesy. But I do appreciate that very much. With the three of us there, we pretty much can do any part of litigation that anybody may have, because all of us do a couple of different things. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone from Bafos here? Oh, okay. Come on up. Tonight we have one of our long-term family-owned businesses with a lot of rich Riverview history. So we could have the Rostelli and Romano family come up. As they're making their way up, I'll read a little bit of background about Bafos. Nearly 40 years ago, the name Bafos hit the downriver community like a storm, with a small Italian family pizzeria that quickly became known for their authentic gourmet pizzas, homemade pasta dinners, and so much more. In 1988, the Rostelli family opened Bafos Pizzeria, located in Lincoln Park, and set themselves apart from the competition by adopting three fundamental operations of truth: quality, consistency, and cleanliness, all in which are still their core of the family operations today. In 1993, Mr. Rostelli found a building unit and leased it in Riverview by Mr. Schwank, and shortly after, a friendship of the business relationship began. When Mr. Rostelli informed Mrs. Rostelli, Mama, of the Riverview unit for lease, she recalled a recent visit with a dear friend from an old country of San Marino, and recounted the beauty of the subdivision with all the trees and peaceful neighborhoods. She immediately felt the abundance of internal peace. Perhaps it was a sign from the good Lord that because she did know that the beautiful city was about to be a new location for Mr. and Mrs. Rostelli's new business. As a family, they give all their thanks to the Lord for Jesus Christ and maintaining their corporation as a family of all these years. They consider it an honor and a privilege continuing the Bafos legacy and producing quite wholesome product that they are proud to feed their families. And Riverview is proud to have you, and we certainly appreciate your pizza rolls. They've been all over the world. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bafos, everybody. Next up is a very long-term Riverview business and proprietor of this beautiful building, Mr. John Fracassa. Is he here or is he working? There he is. Arnaldo's and John Fracassa are the definition of community spirit. John was recently inducted into the Riverview Hall of Fame and those family-owned businesses that is still heavily involved in making Riverview a better place to live. Arnaldo's has hired hundreds of young people over the years, providing an opportunity to learn a work ethic that would benefit them in the future. John occasionally provides meals for our first responders in DPW, and I would personally like to say we've had so many events in this building. It's always a beautiful place. Like I said, this place just screams Riverview, and we appreciate his support over the years. Thank you, John. Our next business we recognize is another relatively new Riverview business. Please welcome Mr. Joseph DeSanto and Safe Spot Storage up. Safe Spot Self-Storage is a local and growing storage business that offers a wide range of storage options, including indoor climate-controlled, both boat, RV, and indoor storage. They also service small businesses with the premium indoor climate-controlled business suites. At Safe Spot, they strive to give the best customer service along with their competitive pricing. They work so hard that they give back to our community, donating youth programs, city events, and nonprofit organizations. They are incredibly proud of our Riverview location and extremely thankful for the community and welcoming them with open arms. And we try to do that to all our businesses. They are grateful for the acknowledgement and recognition of this service award and look forward to having a long-standing, and we do too, long-standing business relationships. And actually, in the city, that's what we do. There's a lot more work involved than most people think. We try to build relationships with as many businesses as we can. That way you get to know them, you know their needs and wants. And that way, you can just work so much well together. So thank you.
Well, the mayor had invited me up here to say a few words, so I'll take a minute. I wanted to thank Mayor Swift and his staff for welcoming us to the community. Riverview's been absolutely marvelous to work with on our redevelopment of the former J-Dubs bar and party store there on Sibley Road. I want to acknowledge a couple people because they're bashful to come up here today, but these are the other people that do the work. My partner, Ferris Addy, my wife, Liz, who supports me at home and allows me to go play in the dirt and build these places. And then our manager who runs the day-to-day operations, Ashley Kitchen, who does a great job. And we have our lenders here today from First Merchant Bank who always support us. So we thank you and we appreciate you.
Is Casey Husted here from, all right, come on up, Casey. Next we have Casey Husted, owner of Cream Barber and Shop. Cream is the reinvention of the traditional men's grooming experience. Taking a modern approach inspired by fashion trends and styles, they've involved basic men's haircut into quality, tailored services striving to exceed clientele expectations. Cream Barbershop opened its doors in 2013 in Wyandotte by master barber Wesley Napier. In 2015, Cream Barbershop moved to a better location in Riverview, expanding their retail experience. In 2019, Wesley decided to hand the reins over to a second-in-command, master barber Casey Husted. Casey has embraced the essence of Detroit Rock City by bringing punk rock and rock and roll vibe to the shop. Cream Barber has emerged as a premier men's grooming destination for downriver and the greater Detroit area. bringing the same craftsmanship and attention to detail to the new location. Cream is looking to expand the company while continuously striving to perfect and provide the best customer service. I will just say this, it is a very unique place. We had them part of our Destination Downriver scheme we had going with promoting downriver businesses. And I'll just say it is one of the most unique places in the city of Riverview. You got to go there. Don't bring your kids, but it's really a unique place. It's not really a gothic theme, but it's a really rock and roll, and the whole place is decorated that way. And it's like anything else. It's more than just a haircut. It's an experience. So congratulations.
Sounds like you.
Well, yeah. Last up, I just got a text from Joe Hermes of Bose Cannabis. We'll read it to you. Actually, even sent me a picture. Whoops, let me go back up. He said, I apologize. I just had a newborn this past week and it's been keeping me very busy alongside with the store. He may not be able to make it. So I said, congratulations. He sent a picture of him and his firstborn. So congratulations to him. I just want to say they opened up a few months ago, and they're already partnering with us by sponsoring a big portion of Summerfest. I'd also like to personally thank Joseph and Bose for refraining, and we know it was a controversial thing with the dispensaries opening up, but my opinion is they did it right. They stayed out of the fracas, they stayed out of the rhetoric, and they just waited for our citizens to vote, and it passed, and then they moved forward. So I just want to thank them for that. So congratulations to Bose. That's it. Okay, if I'm going to get you out by 1 o'clock, I'll have to talk really fast, so I'll do the best I can. Welcome to our third State of the City address. In full transparency, I do not personally benefit from this event. This is very graciously hosted by the Southgate Rotary. The purpose is to raise funds for scholarships for the students of Riverview Community High School and Gabriel Richard. So please help me give the Southgate Rotary a big round of applause. Mr. Stephen Ailes is a great friend and does most of the legwork to get this event going, while the rest of the hardworking members of Rotary. The Rotary motto of "Service Above Self" is one I try to model my life by. I've eagerly waited for today. Number one is I want to get this over with. And this whole event means so much to the city, and I'm humbled and honored by the people we have here. With my former mayors and supervisors, they're such quality people, and all have the best interests of their communities at heart, and I really respect their opinions, and glad they took some time out of their very busy days to be here. I'm grateful and honored for the chance to speak to you all today. As I glance around, I see successful entrepreneurs, dedicated elected officials, diligent city workers, engaged residents serving on commissions, civic groups, and a number of sponsors who have made this event a reality. To each of you, I give you my heartfelt thanks. Take a moment to applaud yourselves. All right. I know nobody wants to clap for themselves. Over the past year, we've encountered various hurdles, with the potential of the landfill closure standing out as our most pressing challenge. It's widely recognized that losing the revenue generated by our landfill presents a significant financial predicament for our general fund. Anyone familiar with budgeting understands that simply cutting expenses won't suffice, facing a 30% loss of income. To sustain the exceptional services that we provide, adjustments are imperative. City Manager Jeff Dobeck and his team have dedicated considerable effort crafting a balanced budget for Council's consideration. This budget incorporates a temporary $2 million increase for public safety funding for 1 year. This measure will enable us to maintain our current level of service until we determine the revenue generated from the excise tax, from dispensaries, and royalties from our new gas plant. Our partnership with DT has proven mutually beneficial for us, our residents, and DT itself. Another challenge we were presented in the past year excuse me, was the introduction of cannabis dispensaries. This was a major topic on social media at more council meetings than I care to admit. But once our residents were allowed to vote on the sale of recreational marijuana, we had our direction, and with that, several new businesses. I personally want to thank all the owners who stayed out of the rhetoric during the campaign and just waited for the people to speak. Welcome to Bows, Jars, and Green Acres, and thank you for your sponsorships in the Riverview Summerfest and Summer Concert Series. Riverview is known for what it is, a small bedroom community. We've got great schools, great city services, we have parks in nearly every subdivision, and a community where you likely know all your neighbors. Riverview regularly makes the list of safest cities in Michigan, and none of this just happens by magic. Because we are a small community, it's a little easier to focus on what we need to fix. I'll take a drink. As you just saw from our business awards, Riverview continues to attract new and vibrant businesses. In the last few years, we've added over 200 or expanded businesses. Yes, some were not successful, but at least they chose Riverview as their best shot. Now it's time to give a little background on what changes and improvements we have planned for the city itself. So from a starting point, we have a population of 12,465. That's down a little bit from the 2010 census. Median age is 41.2. That's down 4% in the last year. But what that tells me is we have a more younger community than we've had in the past. Median income is about $70,000, up 6% from last year, and median property value of $166,000, up 8% from last year. Under the direction of Jeff Dolbeck and his leadership team, we were able to do these things: complete fiscal operations within budgeted amounts, work with the Riverview Land Preserve out of a deficit elimination status, provide alternate funding sources for closure of the post-closure costs of the Riverview Land Preserve. We've instituted best practices in operating structures and departments meet budget amounts. Jeff worked diligently by communicating with myself and council to provide way too much detail on some of the backgrounds on council agenda items. Under council direction, the city manager developed a vision and a plan and made operating adjustments to save additional 2 mills of public safety we were considering last year of doing a 4 mill assessment. He oversaw and finalized the operating of the final agreement with DTE, Riverview Energy Systems, for a $75 million renewable gas plant. I'm sure Jeff would also want me to tell you that the royalties have already started coming in, with anticipated amounts of a minimum of $400,000 per year. One huge accomplishment, I think, of the city manager was to start building his team by hiring a new human resource manager, budget and finance director, treasurer, and financial analyst. Next up is our police department. Under the direction of Chief Allen, they've been pretty busy. I've always find these numbers fascinating. Here are some statistics that will just bog your mind. Remember, we're just 3 square miles. We've had 12,828 incidents. That's 400 more than our population. So these guys are pretty busy. We've had 150 accidents, impounded 227 vehicles, 243 arrests, traffic warnings 899, 2,600 tickets, and 3,400 traffic violations. These guys are busy keeping our city safe, and I think they're doing a great job. Our police department is committed to being embedded in the community during non-enforcement encounters. Some of these include resident and responder events, National Night Out, Faith in Blue Weekend, Riverview Community School events, the Easter Stroll, Trunk or Treat, Neighborhood Watch, Summerfest, Winterfest, and Strides for Adams. And if that's not enough, they're adding 2 events this year, Cops and Cones, which will get started pretty soon with some cooperation from A Serendipity, and another one which actually takes place tomorrow at Young Patriots Park, the National Day of Prayer. A major goal achieved in 2023 was the application and grant award through the Michigan Association of Chiefs Police to pay initial accreditation fee, as well as 2 years of accreditation management system. Our police department was able to reach their staffing level of 23 officers during the 2023 calendar year. This was accomplished with the support of the city manager, the city council, through contractual changes and to address lateral hires, which I think was the biggest thing we were able to do that really helped us. Most cities still have a little bit of an issue with finding police officers and firemen, so we're doing our best to make sure we can stay on top of that. A few goals for 2024: continue with community policing efforts, continue towards accreditation, focusing on the retention of officers and recruiting. And one looming thing they have going up is we have the potential of 3 lieutenants retiring this year. So you're talking about with staffing issues, you have to stay right on top of them because we have people ready to retire. Our fire department, under the direction of Chief Lammers, continues to work on a strategic plan to develop the fire department. The plan identifies specific direction upon priorities and clear focus. We must become more efficient, utilizing available resources, and continue to evaluate to implement new program ideas. Some overall goals are for 24-25 to improve emergency response time, fire and medical services, and a goal to improve our PPC, whatever the heck that is, community classification. Has to do with insurances, I believe. So the better services we provide for our community, then actually the rates are cheaper on your insurance. They plan to work with Riverview Community School District to be active in the MI Heart Safe programs. Our fire department is also focusing on senior facilities to reduce and eliminate obstacles in petting their response. And I believe that's in relationship to the fire that was in Southgate last year, where all the communities participated in helping Southgate out. So. A big one here, the Riverview Highlands Golf Course continues its multi-year improvement program under the direction of Mike Kettler. Mike and his team were responsible for selling out of their junior golf program, 362 kids within the first hour of signups. The Riverview Highlands hosted their first drive, chip, putt tournament. The Highlands were a local qualifier for the national tournament held in Augusta last year. They completed a major pump repair on Blue 9, continued the complete cart paths. The Riverview Highlands also hosted its 4th annual invitational to raise money for involvements to the golf course. Please mark your calendars for this year's invitational being held Thursday, June 13th. Selfless plug here. Please see Mike Kettler for more information. And to be honest, I'm not a golfer, but I've played in all 4 invitationals, and it's an absolute blast. Plus, you can see how beautiful the course is, and they give away some pretty cool prizes. So I look forward to that. The golf practice facility hosted its 2nd concert on the course. This is a Pine Knob style concert that allows us to show off the beauty of the facility to those who, like myself, who aren't golfers. Mark your calendars again for the Sunday, July 21st. You don't want to miss this free concert. This year's band is the Blues Brothers Tribute Band, and it's also going to include their horn section. I believe it's like 12 to 15 horns. Then this is going to be an awesome, awesome concert. So get ready, Chief, to direct traffic on Sibley Road because everybody's going to know what's going on up there. Some major goals for the 24-25 budget year: increase the number of rounds to 62,000. Imagine that, 62,000 rounds of golf, and increase revenue of the $2,500 or $2,500,000 due to improvements made to the golf course and clubhouse. At the golf practice, the plans for the next year to improve putting greens, also increase range membership by 10% due to the indoor practice facility and improve practice tee. Increase revenues by 10%, upscale indoor practice facility, and make it a year-round destination. And that's the feedback I keep getting. Our golf course is becoming a destination. It's providing services all year round and becoming quite an attraction. Under the direction of Tom Dickman, our recreation department, they've had a busy year also. The recreation will have a senior transportation program up and running early this next fiscal year. This program will help those seniors that do not have transportation to go to and from doctor's appointments and shopping. The recreation department has expanded their summer program for 2024. The recreation is offering a weekly camps such as arts, crafts, STEM, space, acting, and many other sports camps, all in conjunction with the schools so families can participate in programs offered by the recreation department. And at this point, I would like to acknowledge the schools. We partner with so many things with the Riverview Community School System. You know, we try to do the best to get the most out for the money you send us. So we try not to duplicate services, and JJ and Hetzel and the Riverview schools have been a tremendous partner. The Riverview Recreation Department established greater funding through sponsorships to help cost some of the programs. Through the sponsorships, the 2024 Concerts in the Park will be fully funded by sponsors. Summerfest will be fully funded by sponsors. So we're working smarter, we're working harder, and we're doing the best to provide for our citizens. The Recreation Department is always striving to bring community more and expand programs and events for residents and to Riverview enjoy a happier, healthier lifestyle. The Riverview Veterans Memorial, led by Azita Fratelli, has made our library a very popular place to be and to use. An average of 100 to 120 people visiting the library per day. Both our circulation numbers, in-person library visits exceeded the numbers we had before the COVID shut down. At an average of 350 new books, DVDs, magazines, and audiobooks to the physical collection, current physical collection is over 71,000 resources for the community. The library has also offered hundreds of vegetables, fruit, and flower seeds to borrow from our cultivated library and seeds graciously donated by Eve Howell and Lowe's. And I will say, I did get some of those seeds. My tomato plants are this tall already. But it's another service that we provide to our community, which I think other ones may or may not do. Hand out 60 activity kits to encourage creativity and literacy at home. Purchase a new comfy seating system and studying chairs for the computer stations in the youth area. And I'll just say, I'll certainly appreciate that. My wife and I take my granddaughter to the library because she loves to play with the doll houses and stuff. And those chairs are just hard to sit on, so now we'll go there a little bit more. The library also helps stock the reflection pond with fish to increase the borrowing of fishing poles. Most people don't know that. You can rent a fishing pole at the library for free and take it to the reflection pond, get your 4 or 5 hours of fishing in, and then go home. So, and they provide that. The library has experienced a surge in circulation for numbers of books, audiobooks, DVDs, reaching its highest numbers since 2016. The library's weekly story times and events with authors and art nights are in high demand, reaching maximum capacity in the community room. The library has 2,600 residents with active library cards. And I think, I don't know if Azita's here, the library staff and Azita, they've done an outstanding job of providing a lot of quality services to our citizens. Our new city clerk, Shane Harrison, some top responsibilities of her office: inform and educate voters on the precinct redistricting and new ways to vote, such as permanent ballot and early voting. Preparing the renewal of businesses licenses in May. Considering hiring a part-time election specialist at an average 20 hours per week to reduce overtime during elections and the mandatory 9 days of voting. And I don't know what your opinion is on the 9 days of voting, but that's a big stress added to our clerk's office, and I don't think we get much money for that, but we'll make the best of it. Update the city clerk webpage, allowing visitors to locate documents, applications, public notices, election information, and meeting agendas more quickly. Processing applications for marijuana dispensaries and other new businesses. There still is interest, I guess with the way the ordinance was written, there's still room for more. Continue working with the Downriver Wayne County Community Clerks in training the cost-cutting measures for conducting elections as well as the clerk's duties. Under the direction of Mr. Jeff Webb, our DPW is responsible for various duties, including maintaining the city's underground infrastructure, which is aging and often goes unnoticed. Some of the recent projects undertaken by the DPW provided consultations and estimates and opinions on various engineering issues. 6 site plans were done for commercial projects and associated utilities. Completed and submitted street certification report and reviewed the submitted street financial report. The DPW was able to line 6,684 linear feet of sewers, ranging in size from 10 inches to 24 inches. These hardworking people replaced 1,300 feet of water main along Pennsylvania, 1,100 feet of water main along Vreeland and Wendy Court. So far, they replaced 7 lead lines services. This is all in addition to 4,200 square yards of concrete pavement, 1,200 square feet of sidewalks. These guys have been busy, and they do a lot of work. Let's hear it for our DPW, if you don't mind. Some of their projects for next year are their street sectioning, sewer lining, the water main replacement of only $1 million, sidewalk, and street replacement. Under the direction of our new finance director, Ann Darzniak, the finance department was able to accomplish this in the 23-24 fiscal year. separated tax collection deposits into separate bank accounts, and all deposits are now recorded in the tax collection fund and distributing the taxing entities. This procedure is required by the state of Michigan. Separated the water department deposits into a separate bank account to simplify reconciliations. Eliminated purchase order systems to streamline the purchasing and processing of payments to vendors, purchase orders not being done consistently and causing reporting to be inconsistent because they were not being released in the accounting system. So she's fixed all that. In October of 2023, added the Michigan Class Investment Pool as a depository in the institution to the city to maximize investment income on idle funds. Interest earned since inception is $470,000 with an average yield of 5.4%. This is just amazing. Just a way you do business. We're becoming much more efficient and much better. Some of the goals of the Finance Department in the coming year: review job descriptions and accounting procedures to strengthen internal controls, hire a full-time employee by combining the purchasing and accounts payable functions into one position. This will help with employee retention to avoid continuous training and disruption in the Finance Department. And that's for that one. A few more to go here and we're almost done. And finally, our Human Resource Director, Tracy Duncan, reports the following. She completed an active employee audit of the BS&A system, complete a full audit of city vehicles, used this information to provide an insurance carrier, resulting in an annual savings. Just going back and looking, document what you have. $17,000 savings with our insurance carrier. Completed the Michigan Municipal League wage and benefit survey, built an annual human resource calendar for non-routine reoccurring events. Focused on recruitment. In the past year, we've hired a full-time comptroller, firefighters, recreation coordinators, police officers, finance director, finance administrative clerk, code enforcement officer, and 2 library assistants. So the goals for the 24-25 fiscal year, she's going to be busy. Negotiate new contracts with 5 bargaining units. Continue to hire fire and police personnel and utilize grant opportunities where we can for the officer training. Roll out the risk avoidance programs for all department heads and create a fully electronic hiring and onboard process. I'm only a few minutes late. In conclusion, I would like to acknowledge the staff, the entire staff of the City of Riverview, all the commissioners and volunteers. Please join me in giving them a round of applause if you don't mind. Finally, one of the most important things that I've learned as mayor is that we're never alone in community service. At the risk of missing one or two, I'd like to thank our great partners. Obviously, all the cities that are here are our partners. I'm going to add Destination Downriver, SEMCA, Southeast Michigan Community Alliance, SEMCOG, we have representatives from SEMCOG here. Thank you, Susan, you're here somewhere. The Guidance Center, Southern Wayne County Regional Chamber, the Senior Alliance, Southgate Rotary, the Kiwanis of Riverview, Riverview Goodfellows, and the school district, and many, many more. I'd like to thank all of them, and I certainly want to thank all of you for coming out today. I hope you're only 5 minutes late, so you don't have to go back to work, but you can't stay here. I've always wanted to say that. So thank you very much for everybody for coming. We appreciate your support, and thank you very much. Oh.
Don't get up to leave yet. The tradition of the Rotary is to conclude with the Pledge of Allegiance. So before that, I just want to thank Steve Ollis and the Rotary again for a great job that they put on again this year. So if everybody can join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dismissed.